Some of my videos have only got 23 views, so I'm not sure if I can call myself a YouTuber. But if you're thinking of starting a channel, let me save you some time. Everyone online will tell you to just start. It's great advice, but nobody tells you what happens after that. Most of us start a YouTube channel with a general idea of what it is that we want to do. We want to talk about X, or we want to teach somebody something, or we want to explore topics or create a community. We want to share our journeys or part of our lives. Or you might want to get monetized, which is a goal for me. So I started my YouTube journey just like that. I looked into YouTube as a way to earn an income for retirement. And when I say income, I have no illusions that this is going to replace my full-time wage. So my first episode, I figured out that of course it would be an introduction of myself, an introduction of what I was doing, of what I was going to talk about, and how I was planning for retirement, early retirement. So I got myself on AliExpress, and I bought myself a cheap tripod, and I got together my birthday money, and I bought myself a little GoPro. Don't worry, it was on special. And I found a shop that sold cheap ring lights. Just as a side note, that ring light did not last the filming of the first episode before it broke. By cheap, by twice. So I got my thinking hat on. I wrote a script. I threw it into ChatGPT and I said, make this better. And that was when ChatGPT was fairly new, and we were all super impressed with its ability to sort of, improve our writing skills. But I didn't realize it's more important to make a connection on YouTube than it is to have good writing. So I set it all up. I filmed it. I decided which editing software I was going to use. I'm an iPhone person, an Apple person, so I just went with iMovie, and I made my first episode. It was imaginatively titled My First Episode, starting again at 50. Then I posted it, and then I waited, and then I watched it, and then I waited, and then somebody else watched it, and then I waited. And I think within a week, it had about 12 views. And it's slowly crept up in views since then. But today I think it has a grand total of 53 views. Now, I was excited with that, and I thought, this is it. We are off and running, and I'm going to do this every week. But because the learning curve is so steep, it took all of my time. By the time I put up episode 2, that had 47 views. Episode 3, I got 21. By episode 8, I was down to 19 views. And I think I watched it at least 11 times. But then, out of nowhere, I had one that hit 162. I have never figured out why. It is still one of my greatest unsolved mysteries. So if you've ever posted something into the void and heard absolutely nothing back, comment on your worst performing video's view count, and we can make each other feel better. Now, I was doing all of this on top of working a 60-hour week, which, if you're doing the maths, leaves roughly 4 hours a week for sleeping, not including eating and becoming a content creator. I also had a partner who didn't want me to show my face because he was worried that people would ridicule me. Personally, I don't care. So instead of protecting my dignity, I became a professional narrator of my own hands doing things. I did lots of artistic footage of me making tea, and then I started to upgrade things. I got myself a new microphone because, my voice needed better representation than my face was getting. And then my iPhone ran out of storage. So I updated the iCloud. So then I got some new lights because my ring light had already died, and then I ran out of angles. There are only so many interesting ways that you can fill a lounge room before you feel like you're doing a documentary on your sofa pillows. But then I ran out of topics, and then work hit. And there was that time of the year where it swallows you whole, and somewhere in there I just quietly stopped. But you know, what I never stopped was actually watching YouTube. I just became the audience instead of the creator. I was sitting there and I was going, I could do that. I can absolutely do that. But I was doing nothing about it. So eventually that little voice inside my head got loud enough where I couldn't ignore it anymore. And so now I'm back. I've cleared out my phone's memory. I have retired the GoPro. I am filming on my phone now because life is too short to be transferring data between devices. I am letting AI help me with some of the editing. Though if you ask me which software I'm using, the answer is still, I don't know. I'm yet to decide. Sometimes it's Descript, sometimes it's CapCut, and sometimes it's plain old iMovie. So I am starting from 60 to 60 subscribers, and this time I have no illusions as to how long this journey is going to take me to get monetized. My goal is February. Why? Because that's when YouTube changes the algorithm and increases the number of subscribers and watch hours you have to get monetized. But if I don't make it, I will just keep plodding along until I get there. So if you're watching this episode, that means you have a similar idea to me, or in that you want to start your own YouTube channel. And the most important thing that I can tell you to do is to just start, but also remember to have fun. Because as the old saying goes, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. And I didn't know how much I enjoyed doing YouTube until I stopped doing it. So now I've changed my format. I've pinched down a little tighter on my niche, and I've got back to enjoying YouTube again. And you know, I enjoyed that, and I enjoy making the connections you can make on YouTube too. So if you're starting this journey, or you're in this journey, or if you just want to say hello, please just pop it in the comments and I will respond to each and every single one of you, because you know, not many of you comment. So I will also follow you in the hopes that you will follow me, and we can share this journey together. Somewhere in this screen, there's also a recommendation that YouTube has of another video that I've done. Chances are it's one of my old ones. So go have a look and have a laugh at my expense and just see what it takes to make 23 view video.